That's right. It is the Champagne Rugby Podcast. My name is Tony Lyall. Your name is?
Sam Smith.
Yeah.
I paused like you did between your first name and second name.
And because that is called synchronicity.
No, it isn't. Synchronicity.
All right, let's get back this big old train back on the tracks.
Great start.
We're talking rugby futaporo, and I'd like to start talking about rugby by saying I'm parked in a loading zone right now. My car is in a loading zone,
So let's
and I'm
get this
freaking out.
done.
Is it illegal to park in a loading zone?
Yes, it is. You will go to prison, my friend.
I don't know about that, but
You will.
I wondered when I parked in it, is it more frowned upon? Like, will they know that maybe the Demio isn't actually delivering anything?
Well, you're kind of delivering yourself here to do the podcast here in the Expo Gold Beer Garden, so maybe that's it.
All right, well, if any Auckland transport people listen to this, stay the fuck away from my Mazda Demio. Leave it alone. And let's talk some rugby. Big weekend, Sammy.
Oh my gosh, what a huge weekend. We had it. We've toppled the giant. The undefeated giant has fallen from their high horse.
And who would have thought it was the absolute shit show that is the Queensland Reds that would topple the Chiefs on Friday night?
Cannot believe it.
It is pretty funny. I'll say that much. If you're not a Chiefs fan, it's pretty funny. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
What's going on? What are you doing here losing to the Reds?
The Reds, man, they're secretly really good. Like, historically, they were like the best Australian team, except for the Brumbies. But like, oh my God, this has messed up my brain having the Reds be a good team. Like,
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, it's funny to see guys like James O'Connor running around. He still looks 21.
Yeah.
He looks very young. He's got like this beautiful sort of almost a Greek head of blonde hair. He looks like a young Thor running around out there. And I'm like,
'Cause he's
you've been playing rugby for my whole life.
yeah, because he's bulked up now. He's like, because he used to be a little tiny little D-Mac.
Yeah.
But now he's like a slightly bigger, like you've got the next size up at Starbucks. That's what you've got.
He's done a sort of
with James
Francois
O'Connor.
Stein scenario, and he's bulked up in his latter years. He's playing well, and he was driving that team around the field and winning it 25-22. And let's take a listen to his final moments.
They've still got the Chiefs. This is relentless. 25 faces.
Oh my goodness.
25 faces.
I can't take it anymore.
There's numbers.
Yes.
There's numbers.
Numbers, give it. Oh, you've got to give it.
Shit. Christ almighty.
Here we go.
Chiefs, Manor.
No.
They're held up.
It's a try. It's a try.
It's held up.
Come on. Give it. Wait.
The ball's up.
Oh.
Get out of here. It is bullshit. Bullshit.
Oh, and beautiful stuff there.
Tony
The
Lyall,
Chiefs
when I heard it, I threw my hands up in the air. It was crazy.
wiggle around like you just don't care.
No, I stayed quite still because I didn't want it to look weird.
Which is often what DJs say at the club. They're like, put your hands in the air and stay quite still.
If you wave your arms up in the air like you just don't care, I know we're not filming it, but I'm looking like those wacky inflatable tube man kind of guys.
Yeah, you're doing a very good impersonation of them, it has to be said.
Thanks, man.
Another lovely little moment of the game, really, is losing at home as well. Really, your home's supposed to be a fortress, four tresses, four tresses right in a row.
That's right. That's the corners. You've got your tresses in the corners.
Yeah.
All four of them, that makes your home. Admittedly, it's in New Plymouth. So it's not,
I guess
so
there
it's
is
not a real home.
There is that sort of curse. It made me wonder when that happened. Like, there was obviously a lot of controversy around the Hurricanes ditching New Plymouth, Taranaki as part of their region, and then the Chiefs slurping that up, the Hurricanes taking Napier, and then the Chiefs letting go of Napier. When you sort of look at the map, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why? That's not how the country works.
Let's make them drive further to get to these the occasional game that they play out in the very deserving regions, I think. It's very nice to see games out in the region. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and the pitch did look pretty great. It looked pretty nice out there, but you don't want to go all the way out to Taranaki from Hamilton and lose to the Reds.
Imagine that. You are a young kid. You frickin' love rugby. Your team, the Chiefs. Oh, my God, they're coming to play in my
The
town.
undefeated
They're
Chiefs.
playing the Reds. They're shithouse. This is going to be the best game of my life. I'm so excited. Oh, we lose in the dying moments.
Taranaki, New Plymouth Town would have been going absolutely off in the lead up to the game. Everyone would have been frothing at the bit. That main street would have been absolutely just cavalcaded with massively inebriated human beings from New Plymouth, soul to the earth types. Then the game lost, and then
Now the streets are filled with tears. Those fans, they are so worried that their beloved team will never, ever return for fear that they are a curse. And they are. Never play in New Plymouth.
I think there would have been some good old-fashioned scraps on that night in New Plymouth. I think there would have been
People were fighting and stuff.
I think, well, this is all speculation, rampant speculation,
Yeah,
but I
okay.
reckon there would have been a few headbutts. Booker. That's what you...
Booker?
You say that when you headbutt.
Why'd you say
people.
Booker?
You say that when you headbutt.
But why do you say it?
I don't know. It's more just, you know...
Booker. Is it a South African thing?
No, I don't know what it is. I have absolutely no idea why you'd say it, but...
Booker?
Yeah, Booker.
Oh, Booker, like a chicken.
No, you just say...
Like you're picking your head forward like a chicken.
You're in too deep, mate. You're in too deep. You just got to go with the flow. Headbutt a guy and see what comes out.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it a try.
And we encourage you all the listeners of the
Get
Champagne
out
Rugby
there,
podcast,
headbutt a guy.
go out there, headbutt a guy, and just see what noise he makes. See what noise he makes as well.
Write it down in the comments below.
Yeah, if you do, film it, put it online, tag us in the comments, and best headbutt this week wins a prize, and that prize is a cup of.
Human piss.
Well, I was gonna that's not a good
Oh,
prize.
no, sorry, I'll keep that for myself. What's the prize you're thinking?
I was gonna say a cup of Deutz champagne.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, because of the Champagne Rugby podcast. It's not called the
Of course.
Piss
It's not called the
podcast.
Cup of Piss Rugby Podcast.
Well, good grief. I think that's probably where we'll draw a line on that Chiefs and Reds game. I'll tell you what, there's probably a few cups of piss drunk.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't like to be whoever the Chiefs are playing next week. They will be bouncing back. They will be hurting.
Well, it's
They'll
the
be winning.
Hurricanes, actually. So
Oh, no. That'll be a great game. We'll talk about that in a minute.
it certainly will be, because the next game was the Force versus the Endura, and we thought the Endura were going to win. Well, I did, against the Force
Yep,
over there
definitely
in
did.
Western Australia. But no, the Force sort of spanked them.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show that the Fiji and Endura are pretty solid at home, but anywhere out of Fiji and not as formidable as they might have been.
That's right.
Good point.
I've got no more to add.
Fair
I
enough.
completely agree with everything you've said. I like it when the Drua are still good. And it means they drop out of the top 8, which is unfortunate because I quite like them.
Yeah, it would be nice to see them make those playoffs for sure.
It's nice to congratulate the region that has given so many other teams their best players in years.
Yeah, it's true. One of the best Crusaders wingers of all time, that's for sure.
Who are you going with there? Are you going with Vunambaka?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, cool.
What a guy.
Mandolo as well was very good for us.
He also was good, but he's played for too many other teams for me to be eligible. I mean,
true.
he's currently playing for another team.
That's
so
true. Very true.
Then we go down to Wellington. That's not a chant, is it? It's Hurricanes. There we go.
Oh, yeah, got it.
I had the right rhythm, but the wrong word.
Well, yeah.
Hurricanes versus Moana Pacifica. I thought I was going to get along to this game, but I didn't due to just administrative errors.
Oh, what eras? Did your secretary didn't book it in?
No, I double booked myself. I actually triple booked myself, if I'm being honest.
Wow, that is... With what?
Well, I thought I would go to the Canes game, and then a friend was having some barbecue, and we made
Yeah.
sausages. We got a half beast, and we minced it up.
You actually got like the condom skin and chucked the...
Not a
meat
condom
in it.
skin. We got the intestine of a pig.
No, that's how they used to do it. These days they use condom skins because it keeps it and it kills off all the sperm.
No.
It's got that
pretty sure.
spermicide that gels it all together.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's what the sizzler is?
Yeah, that's right. That's why that cheese oozes out of it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So that's the ones you get that have already been used.
Yeah, that's
is the
right.
cheesy
They're
ones.
the tastiest ones.
They certainly are.
Yeah.
There is a little sort of little surprise in the tip of every one of them.
That's right. And that's, you don't want to mess around with those because you could end up with pregnant.
Well, we didn't use sizzlers. We used intestine of a pig, half a beast,
weird.
half a sheep, half a deer. Minced all that up in an actual mincer.
half a beast, half a sheep, half a deer?
Yeah.
Whoa,
And then we put in some
3. That's a sausage of 3 halves.
fat of the pig as well. Just the fat of the pig.
You got to have the fat in there.
Mince
the fat
it
is
all
where
up.
you get the flavor.
Got a big pressed out.
Did you put any herbs and spices in there
Oh,
too?
did we ever? We used spicy chipotle and chili was one of the flavors. Another one was smoky maple bacon, and the other
Yeah.
one was just
One of my
garlic and
favorite
herbs.
spices, smoky maple bacon.
Well, it comes in a sort of a sachet, and you tip that in.
Are you saying sachet weird?
Yeah, sachet.
Are you saying sachet?
It's like ballet. Sachet.
It's a sachet.
Yeah. You don't pronounce the T. No one says, "Oh, pass me that sachet of
It's
tomato
moet.
sauce."
We know this.
Yeah.
It's ballette. Sachet.
Controversial. What I'm trying to say here is we made a lot of sausages. They were delicious, but we cooked them up in the afternoon, and that sort of encroached on my rugby time. So we just watched it on the television like regular people.
I'll tell you what, who should have eaten those said sausages, got a bit more energy in that second half. Moana Pacifica.
Yeah, they certainly looked flat, to say the very least.
Yeah.
The old...
It's so weird, coming off the back, they almost beat the Blues by 1 point. Then they get smashed by the Hurricanes, 71-22, is that 49?
I mean, you do the maths at home and
49.
let us know what you think.
I did that instantly, 49.
40 instantly is a strong word for what that was. But yes, you're right, 49 points, a real good old-fashioned hiding, and by the end, they didn't seem to give a flying fuck.
And I tell you what, I hope that runs into next week because Moana Pacifica are playing the Crusaders, my team. So I'm hoping we can chuck up maybe the 100. Maybe we get 100 against them. Even though they came very close to beating us last time we played them.
Yeah, where is that game?
It is it's here in Auckland at Go Media Mount Stadium Go Media.
Oh, the very savvily named Go Media Stadium Mount Smart. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? You're like, why not chuck another few words in it?
Yeah. The Vodafone Warriors Mount Smart Stadium
you're
Go Mount Start.
The One New Zealand Warriors playing at Go Media
I reckon
Stadium
you need to put in
Mount Smart.
Vodafone for old times as well. So the Vodafone One New Zealand Warriors Let's Gone Mount Stadium Go Mount Eden Media. I don't know where Eden came from.
Well, you've absolutely nailed that. I think that was flawless, rolled off the tongue. Sounded good to hear.
It's just as good as what the name currently is.
And will you be going to that game, Sam?
Absolutely, I cannot. I will actually be at the comedy debate for the New Zealand Comedy Festival.
Oh, beautiful time for a plug, by the way.
time.
New Zealand Comedy Festival is in full swing, so if you're into comedy and you live in Auckland or Wellington, there's a whole shit show of shows. So go online to comedyfestival.co.nz and head along to whoever you please. I mean, it might be the comedy debate on Friday.
It might be your
it might be
show,
my show
Tony
next week in
Lyall.
Auckland.
Oh,
It's
where's
called
your
Killjoy.
show?
It's good at the Q Theatre. It's not
Q
important.
Theatre, that's a lovely venue.
It is. It's going to be a good time. Next week is when the show is on. So watch the rugby this weekend and then book a bunch of tickets next week. But let's go back to the rugby, Sam Smith, because we've got off track here. We're talking about sausages. We're talking about...
Shit, I could go for a sausage right now.
Oh, they were so
Do you have
good
any
too.
left over?
Ate them all.
Oh, good on you.
Hurricanes beat the shit out of Moana Pacifica. It was brutal. But the game of the round is and was in Christchurch, the Crusaders versus the Blues, and what a time to be alive for
the
you, Sam.
traditional rivalry. It's Auckland Canterbury, it's Blues Crusaders, and it was that first half hour. Oh my gosh, it was intense, and it resulted in a nil all first half hour, which felt crazy because Crusaders had, at one point, they had 90% possession, which is phenomenal. Like 20 minutes into the game, it was just wave after wave. Blues held us out for ages. They did great, good on them. But finally, we got through. We scored the opening try, which was part of our TAB good punt this week. We chose. We got our pick was for my team, the Crusaders, to score a try first, and for your team, the Highlanders, to score a try first. We'll get onto that in a second.
I don't know if we need to get into that.
But, we were not let down by my lovely boys. Oh, it was fantastic. And I believe maybe the third or fourth time the Blues have been held to just 3 points in a match. Oh, one of the previous times being against the Blues, against the Crusaders. Oh, I love it.
I've never seen him so jazzed up.
I feel like Santa on Christmas morning watching my lovely guys. Because Tony Lyall, just want to paint a picture for you here. I grew up, I'm from Christchurch. Mm-hmm. I went to high school here in Auckland. So all my high school years is me surrounded by Blues fuckwits during a time when the Blues were pretty damn good. Admittedly, the Crusaders were good at the same time as well. So the rivalry was pretty big. In the year 2002, my sixth form, we went undefeated the whole season. It was the greatest year of my life. The next year, 2003, do you know who won? The Blues. And I went to the final. We lost that game. I went to the game at Albany Stadium, where the Blues defeated the Crusaders to stop our record winning streak. I was at that game. We lost 39-5, and I remember that because my friend Robbie teased me. He said, 39-5, what a way to make a whooping. And that song sticks in my head to this day. So anytime my lovely Crusaders beat, admittedly, the pretty good Blues, it fills my heart with joy and it makes me sing.
Well, that was truly something else, Sam. I've never seen you so jazzed up. Now that song is going to be stuck In my head, 39-5. What a way to make a whooping. It rolls off the tongue. You can imagine Dolly Parton's...
What are you doing there? You're rubbing your nails together?
Yeah, that's what she did on the track. She rubs her nails together.
That sounds... That's great. I didn't know that.
That's the rhythm of 9 to 5. Is her rubbing her nails together. In the mic.
In the... That's how the Bee Gees came up with the song Jive Talking. That was the sound of the train driving.
Are we allowed to say jive these days? It's still legit.
It's just the jive talking. I think so.
It's not a slur?
Well, I don't think so, because it's jive. Isn't that the... it's a language,
the
right?
J word, but that's all right. I am terrified of getting cancelled.
The J word, that's...
But one of the moments of the game, Sam, an incredible try, Lester Fainga'anuku.
He is an amazing person. I want to hug him. I want to be his best friend.
I think he got his way back into the All Blacks in this game. I genuinely think he was on the fringe. He was sort of farting around. He was still playing exceptionally well, scoring tries, like really hitting that one channel off the first 5 off it, or straight off the halfback, off the set piece, and carving through people. But this game, up against Caleb Clark, who you'd have to say is probably the person he's almost in
it's those two.
neck and neck shootout. They play a similar type of game. Yeah. I mean, Caleb Clark can be a bit suspect on defense from time to time. And
do you know who's not suspect on defense? Lester Fainga'anuku.
It's true. And what a finish to this try. Let's take a second, take a listen to what has to be the try of the game, if not the season so far.
Moanga, Havili, Enor over the 10-metre. Enor inside to Havili. Havili with the dummy in the fin. Havili up to Fainga'anuku for the corner. He'll score.
And doesn't that just get your sausage oozing out of its skin? What a finish. I sometimes like it when they do the big dive finishes, as he did in that instance, because sometimes I think, I don't really know if you needed to do that.
I love it when they do it, like right in the corner, there's no one around them.
Yeah.
They've just as they're falling off the field. That's great.
I think they see someone in their peripheral vision, so they think, I better do this just for Justin Marshall, just in case, if you know what I mean. And so they jump out. But I mean, he did sort of dive around a guy, so it was kind of for a reason, but he made it look a lot hard. He could have just done the old school Jeff Wilson and dived like a normal guy, and I think it would have been fine. But Jesus Christ, it looked good.
It looked great.
I can only imagine being in the stadium when you saw that. You would have thought you've just seen Jesus Christ walk on water. As he leapt up, limbs in the air.
Shout out to my, what's my cousin's daughter? What's that to me?
I
Is that
don't
my
even
cousin
know.
once removed? I think that's my first cousin once removed. Tilly, it was her first rugby game she ever went to, and I think it was her cheers that really got my lovely boys across the line.
You think it was a child's cheers?
I think it was Tilly. I think she did it.
That seems to be slightly undermining of, the organisation as a whole, the training they've done, the coaching.
The thing about the Crusaders, which is different from other teams, we're a family. We're a group. Everyone is equal par with everyone. Razor is equal par with Tilly, a child. We are all Crusaders. We live together. We eat together. We work, we play, we sleep together.
Sleep together?
Yeah, I mean we sleep at the same time. We sleep at the same time. We sleep at the same time. And I think that's really, so that's why it means a lot to us.
So all the Crusaders and all the children in the area all sleep together?
That's right. I mean, we sleep at the same time.
Okay, well, that seems slightly terrifying there, Sam Smith. And probably admissible in court, to be honest. This is on the record. Of course, this is actually... We're inside a police station. All the walls just fell down.
I wondered why there were so many cops around right now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Hey, why are they putting handcuffs on me?
Hey, but this win for the Crusaders, it did take them up in the points table. They are now sitting in 4th. They really needed it. They needed a win, and they also needed to beat the Blues to put them down. It's one of those ones, they're basically in the same position, having a look over the table, on 37 and 34 points. So it's one of those wins that does as well for the opposition as it does for the person who wins it. If that makes any sense. You know what I'm trying to say.
No, I got confused. What do you mean it is?
I don't really like saying the term 10-point try. When people say, you get an intercept, it's a 10-point try, and I'm always like, nah, it's not quite. It's just a 5-point try.
It's a 4-point thing.
But this, I guess, is a 4-point win.
Yeah.
8-point win.
Yeah, it's an 8-point
win. An 8-point win. They denied the Blues that and they there's a massive gap now between the team in 6th, 7th, and 8th on the ladder. And 8th is a bona fide joke, to be fair. They are so far away. The Chiefs have more than double the amount of points of the team that is in 8th.
Incredible.
The runaway leaders, with the Brumbies sneaking into that second spot. Anything else you'd like to say on the Crusaders game while you got the floor, Sam?
I love the Crusaders. They're a great team.
We know this. I was thinking some
I hope
astute sort of...
Did you
commentary on the
know
game.
that the Crusaders used to be called the Canterbury Crusaders?
Yes.
But then they changed their name in 2002 to represent all the regions in the Upper South Island. Buller, the West Coast, Canterbury, and Tasman. Thank you.
So you're telling me that it is possible for a rugby team to change their name?
Uh-oh. We're getting to dangerous territory. Let's move on to the next game.
For a rugby team to change their name, and no one seems to get up in arms. So if your name is something that's offensive,
I
maybe you
can't
should change the
believe
name.
the Hurricanes are still called the Hurricanes after the terrible weather we've been having this year.
Well, they're not Hurricanes, are they? They're Cyclones, but it's a whole different thing. Hey, the Waratahs, then they lost. So they won to the Rebels, 38-20. Can't say I watched that one, Sam. How did you watch it?
I did watch it actually.
Oh, nice.
And because I famously, you know this, the Waratahs hate them. Worst team in Super Rugby.
Yeah, they are shit out.
They got a couple of late tries in this game, which really sort of blew out the score a bit, which made it look a bit like really sort of favours them. But they're still shit despite winning against the Rebels.
And speaking of shit teams winning, actually they're not bad at all, but the Brumbies on Sunday afternoon.
Similar thing, eh? Like a couple of late tries to make it really favour the winning team.
Yeah, it was truly devastating to win it. God, it was a absolute humdinger of a game, though.
Question for you, Tony. This is your guys, the Highlanders versus the Brumbies, and we had a bet on for your team, the Highlanders, to score a try first up.
Yes.
And they were doing quite well in the opening stanzas of the game. They were really pushing. They had lots of pressure on the other team. They got a penalty right in front of the sticks. They could have kicked it to the corner and quite easily it got a try. Is that what happened?
No, they took the penalty because they're here to win a game. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way.
In like the 7th minute. So
they did really take a dump all over our bet.
Listeners, on behalf of the Highlanders, I would like to apologise to you all for basically reaching into your pocket and stealing money from you.
That's no one lost any money, let's not forget that fact. Yeah. And also, at least someone had points on the board within the first half an hour of a game, unlike that shit show up in Christchurch.
We still won though, mate.
What a absolute ding-dong of a game it was, though.
Genuinely, it was very nice to see the Highlanders play the Brumbies.
Can we hear that little tune, please? I want to hear this lovely little ding-dong song.
Ding dong, ding dong, who is going wide and long? Yada, ding dong, swelling burst when I see what we become.
Every time I hear that, that's what I think of when I hear the game. Because every time one team would score, it was so backward forward. One time we scored, we got in the lead. I went up to grab a beer from the fridge, came back, and they'd already scored again. I was like, I didn't even get to watch a second of us being in charge. It was so quick.
Yeah.
And it happened like multiple occasions. The lead must have changed, I don't know, 6 times in the game. It was madness.
This is a big thing with rugby. As soon as someone scores a try, the other team, they get riled up. They're like, fuck you guys.
They really did get riled up.
Slam it down.
There was a lot of effing and jeffing, a lot of slamming it down. Speaking of slamming it down, I think that Thomas Umaga-Jensen played incredibly in the midfield. That guy, he has to be in the combo for the AB.
He's got to be there, right?
He's a unit. He's absolutely a rig. He's bumping through tackles. So him and Hugh Renton as well. That every week in, week out, they
keep
play
talking about it.
incredibly. Fakatava, I thought, had another outstanding game.
He's great, man. And it's almost to the point where, I get worried about him that he might get, that he has been Matt Todded.
Yeah.
Just sticking around in the same place behind Aaron Smith, but he's still young. I've got to remember that. He's still young. He's still got plenty of years ahead of him.
Well, next year he'll be the first choice halfback, and I think he must have been told that earlier. But it does slightly frustrate me as a Highlanders fan that we have 2 All Blacks who play the same position, and then basically no All Blacks in the whole rest of the team. Maybe Ethan de Groot and Shannon Frizzell, and then other than that, and then we've got Folau and Aaron Smith. But that won't be a problem next year, only a few more games for this to be an issue. But sometimes I'm like, can we just chuck Fakatava on the wing or something?
Yeah.
He's get him out there.
Oh, where does a halfback, if you want 2 halfbacks, you probably want the other guy.
Probably first 5.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
First 5 or fullback.
You can be a little bit smaller as a first 5, but you still got to be good with kicking as you are as a halfback.
Yeah, it's true. And he was playing well, scored a beautiful little sneaky try, which is just his speciality. I think this game was him putting his hand up. There's been a lot of chat about the halfbacks We've got old Cam Roygard at the Hurricanes, who a lot of
great.
people have been chirping for him to be in the World Cup squad. I think this was Flower Whakatava saying, hey, how about you wait a minute?
Yeah.
I'm still down here
Hold
plugging
your
away.
frickin' horses.
Aaron's on the bench, and now I'm going to absolutely rip and tear in his absence. Still wasn't enough, unfortunately, and the Brumbies scored a few tries at the end to sort of make it a bit of a blowout and also ruin our bet. So sad times indeed.
However, as soon as the Brumbies get to a playoff game, they will be ousted by one of the fine New Zealand teams, and we don't have to worry about them.
It's true.
You hit it here first.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back with next week's game in the Export Beer Garden studio. This week, week 13 of Super Rugby
unlucky.
Pacific. Well, unlucky for some, and I'd say it's going to be unlucky for Moana Pacifica on Friday night in Auckland at Go Media Stadium, Mount Smart Stadium, the home of the One New Zealand Vodafone Warriors. They will be playing the Crusaders.
Oh, love them. They're my team.
Are they?
Yeah,
What?
I'm very excited about this game. I think Moana Pacifica pushed us last time. I think we're going to be a little bit scared about that, and we are going to hopefully absolutely trounce them.
There's going to be a punishing in Penrose.
That's right. Oh, that's good. I like that alliteration.
A bloodbath in
Balmoral.
bloody south, north Auckland. What area is Penrose?
It's South North Auckland.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
North-South
It's North-South Auckland, yeah.
North-South Auckland
Yeah.
makes more sense. But that doesn't help a slitting of the throat in North-South Auckland. That still sounds too aggressive.
It's very aggressive. There's going to be a rugby game at a rugby stadium.
That is fair enough. Speaking of rugby games and rugby stadiums, the Reds will take on the Blues over in Queensland. And
I love this game. It's the colours.
It is the colours.
It's the purple match.
Bloods versus Crips.
Crusaders versus Blues.
Crusaders versus Blues. The purple match. I like that.
Purple match. So yeah, good luck to the Reds. You have had your win for the season.
Imagine if the Reds beat the Blues and the Chiefs back to back.
That it will never happen in
They'll
a
be full
million
of
years.
vim and vigour. James O'Connor be running around, most likely in a budgie smugglers.
Who's their halfback? Mick, that guy.
Oh yeah,
he's great.
He is great. Lovely little mullet as well.
Yeah. Anyway, look him up. He's great.
He is great. It'll pop back in my head on the drive home. Highlanders Rebels, Saturday afternoon. This is a goodbye to Dunedin for Aaron Smith. His last game in Dunedin.
Oh,
if
get
you're
down
anywhere
there.
near
Get
Dunedin,
down there.
get your ass in there
If you
and
were
go.
anywhere in the South Island, drive to Dunedin and thank Aaron Smith for his amazing work throughout the years.
If you're anywhere in New Zealand, get down there
Let's
and
go.
thank
We're-
Aaron Smith.
we're
I
going
can't
there now.
come, but
We'll go.
We'll go?
Yep, we'll go.
Okay, we're definitely there.
I'll charter a plane.
Okay. It seems within your remit. And it'll be a great game. I think the Highlanders are going to win that one. Aaron Smith's last game. They've got to do it.
They've got
Pack
to
it
do it.
out, Dunedin. Get down there. Yes, Nuggy. What a guy. Chiefs Canes, the big match, Saturday night, 7:05.
Chiefs, Canes. Oh, yeah, man. The Chiefs are going to be hurting. The Hurricanes are going to be, I reckon the Hurricanes are going to swing from a 71-22 win to an 8-point loss.
I think it's going to be close. I reckon it's going to be. I mean, the Canes, I don't think that they're going to win it all, but they could knock over a team like the Chiefs. I honestly think this could be the week for the Canes, but I do think that. But I'm not thinking enough to say they're not going to.
I really want the Canes to lose so that the Crusaders can leapfrog them in the table. Yeah.
So
I'm a
say that
very
again?
greedy supporter. I want the Canes to lose so that the Crusaders can leapfrog them in the table. The Chiefs, they're insurmountable at this
That's
stage.
not greedy, Sam. That's just being a savvy
It's a
bastard.
savvy fan.
You're a savvy bee.
I'm a savvy bee.
You're a savvy bee. Speaking of savvy bees, the Waratahs in Fiji and Drew will be drinking plenty of Sauvignon Blanc over there in Sydney as they prepare for that game because city boys from Sydney are fancy boys, Sam.
They love wine.
They
and
love
they are
wine.
alcoholics.
They're alcoholics.
They love playing professional rugby whilst under the influence.
I think it's more a post-match sort of vibe.
You reckon? I reckon they're doing a glass pre-game to sort of loosen up a little bit.
A glass of piss.
At halftime, they're drinking human piss to get those natural those natural proteins back into their system.
Moorish.
End of the game, a keg of Savvy B.
A keg of savvy bee.
Between the team, obviously.
Truly the most hangover-producing thing I've ever heard of, a keg of savvy
It's because when you
bee.
mix it with the piss, it doesn't really work.
And speaking
What's
of
to say,
mixing with
wine and
piss, the ultimate mix of piss, the Force play the Brumbies on
No
Sunday
one
afternoon.
cares.
Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a game. It says 12 a.m. on my schedule. Is that midnight?
12 a.m. is midnight, yeah.
Very confusing, the midnight time.
So wait, so that's
They're
yeah,
playing
it's
at
Force
midnight.
time. It's Force time. They're playing
They're playing a Force time, but a midnight kickoff.
So that's a 7 p.m. game in Perth. But midnight for us here in New Zealand.
But how does it go? It counts up 11 a.m. and then 12 p.m.
It's 11:59 p.m. then becomes 12 a.m.
But if you think of daytime,
Yeah.
like 11 in the morning is 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And then you count up again to 12
Then it becomes PM.
But then it goes back to 1 p.m.
After that,
It's
yeah.
insane.
It's because PM stands for post meridian, and meridian is like the 12.
Meridian's the Moorland in Dunedin.
Yeah, well, that was named after the time as well.
Oh, that Spice
Very niche reference to that.
Spice
Great.
Traders in Dunedin at the Meridian go so hard. If you're in Dunedin going to support Aaron Smith this weekend, load up with a cuzzer from Spice Traders before you go. Get a cheeky Burger King cheeseburger for the walk to the stadium and go and wave off Aaron Smith on his last ever game and get bloody excited. And you know what I'm excited for this week, Sam?
Is it the comedy debate?
No, it is. Well, yes, but no, I'm excited for our TAB Good Punt.
Oh, yes.
I've got it lined up here.
If we don't win this, my mind will be blown.
So we've got $100 in bonus bets from the TAB.
Thanks, TB.
And did you call them the TB?
I said TAB, but
yeah.
I said the A really quick.
Yeah.
But I also want to thank tuberculosis for not affecting me and my family.
Seamless sponsor mention there, lumping in TAB, our loyal sponsor, with tuberculosis. And we'll see if that makes the edit that gets sent to the beautiful TAB. I'm
Oh,
just
it will? We're getting a nod. It
making eyes at our producer there, and he seems to think it will. So enjoy that one.
will. Huge fan of tuberculosis,
Enjoy
Adam.
that one. Hey, we've got to go into what our bet is this week. Crusaders, first score of the game to be a try against
Yes.
Minor Pacifica. Blues team to score the first try. So that doesn't have to be the first score. They've just got to score the first try. And Highlanders, they have to score the first try against the Rebels. It's a 3-leg multi.
Oh,
and
baby.
We stand to get back an incredible $733, which will go into the back pocket of some listener of the Champagne Rugby
I
Pod.
think a deserved amount of money because we are great at picking these bets. We've done very well, and let's just keep this train rolling.
And I'm going to roll right on out of here, Sam. Thank you very much for listening. Everyone who normally does, do you want to come with me?
What?
I'll give you a ride.
What, right now?
We've got to go get this car out of
yes,
the loading
please.
zone.
Yeah, let's go do it.
The car's in the loading
Thanks
zone.
for listening, everyone. Go the
thanks for listening.
Crusaders.
Grab a ticket to the Comedy Festival at comedyfestival.co.nz/Tony Lyall or something like this. And other than that, we'll see you next week.
My website is samsmith.co.nz.
Long live Aaron Smith.
Go the Crusaders!